The forest was quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, like the trees are listening. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting long shadows over the winding trails. It was the kind of place where time seemed to stand still, where the world beyond the trees faded into nothing. But in places like this, the past never truly stays buried. And sometimes the silence isn't empty. It's waiting to be broken.
She's laying face down with her legs up.
In July 2021, Victoria, Jake Gorba, and their 3-year-old son, Caden, were on a family outing near Shut-Eye Peak in California. Riding along, they were enjoying a quiet day, surrounded by the beauty of the forest. That's when Caden suddenly pointed toward a meadow. "There's a woman over there," he said calmly, directing his parents' attention toward the open field. Victoria, startled, scanned the area but saw nothing unusual. "What woman?" she asked. "She has blue hair," Caden replied. "She's wearing a black shirt and jeans. She's watching us."
She needs our help, but she's dead. And she's laying face down with her legs up. And she can't talk to me, but she's over there. We need to go help her.
Victoria and Jake exchanged uneasy glances. There was no one in sight, yet Caden was insistent. He repeated that the woman was there, watching them from the meadow. That evening, still unsettled by her son's insistence, Victoria shared the strange encounter on Facebook. What happened next would leave her stunned. The Madera County Sheriff's Department reached out to her almost immediately. They explained that Caden's description of the woman perfectly matched a missing person, Sandra Hughes, a 54-year-old outdoorswoman who had vanished over a year earlier. Sandra's story was as puzzling as Caden's encounter. In June 2020, she set out for a solo camping trip in California's Sierra National Forest. An experienced camper and survivalist, Sandra had told her family about her plans, but after the 26th of June, no one ever heard from her again. A week later, hikers discovered her campsite near Johnson Meadows. The scene was unsettling. Her belongings were scattered, food and clothing strewn about, and even her identification left behind. For someone as meticulous as Sandra, it was completely out of character. Then, on July 4th, 2020, Sandra was seen crashing her silver Saab near the Chiquito Creek trailhead. The low-speed collision left her car high-centered on a stump. Witnesses approached, offering help, but Sandra declined and lingered near the vehicle before disappearing into the woods. A few days after the crash, the National Park Service found her sleeping bag about 2.5 miles from the crash site, adding another piece to the growing mystery. In the days that followed, Sandra was reportedly seen walking in the forest twice more. However, the witnesses, unaware she was a missing person, didn't report these encounters until much later. Hoping Sandra might return for her car, authorities left it at the scene, but she never came back. What followed was one of the largest search efforts the area had ever seen. Drones, cadaver dogs, and search and rescue teams scoured the wilderness. Volunteers combed miles of rugged terrain, but not a single trace of Sandra was found. Not a footprint, not a piece of clothing, nothing. Then, a year later, Caden described her with chilling accuracy. Still skeptical, Victoria showed Caden a photo of Sandra. Without hesitation, he pointed to it and said, "That's her." How could a 3-year-old boy describe a missing woman so precisely? Her blue hair, black shirt, and jeans matched exactly what Sandra had last been seen wearing. Could Sandra still be alive, surviving against all odds in the wilderness? It seemed unlikely. The devastating creek fires of September 2020 had scorched the region. leaving it unrecognizable. Months of snow, rain, and wind had further erased any clues. The landscape had changed drastically, complicating search efforts and diminishing hope. Had Caden witnessed something supernatural? Could Sandra's spirit be roaming the area, desperate to find someone who could lead searchers to her remains? Caden's account grew even more unsettling. He said the woman was trying to get his attention. "She needs our help, but she's dead," he told his mother with unwavering certainty. Caden pointed to a specific meadow between Shut-Eye Peak and Little Shut-Eye Peak.
And my husband and I kind of looked at each other like, what? And he goes, yeah, there's a lady over in the meadow in a black shirt. And I got goosebumps. He kept saying, trust me, Mom. And I was like, I trust you, bud. You know, I believe you 100%.
The site Caden described was within a 5-mile radius of Sandra's last known location. Sheriff's deputies took Caden and his father to the area to investigate, but despite their efforts, they found nothing. Sandra Hughes' disappearance remains one of the most perplexing missing persons cases in recent memory. The lack of evidence, the eerie sightings, and now Caden's haunting description leave more questions than answers. Was Caden's sighting a vital clue, or was it something we can't explain? An encounter with the supernatural? What do you believe?